My most recent one was Christmas down at the Country Tonight Theater in Pigeon Forge. I had a song called Perfectly Christmas played all through the season, so that was a lot of fun. Well, anyway, I might play it. Do y'all like bluegrass?
Yeah.
I might play you a little bluegrass song that just came in my email today. They just finished it at the studio. I might just share that with you on the way, okay? If you want to hear it. Okay, well, you're here at the wonderful Gaylord Opryland Hotel. When did you get in? Yesterday. We're going to go right at the end of the street. And when we get up on Briley, we're going to turn right on. Because when the ships would line up down here, maybe 35 at a time, and there's a picture, a painting of one of the ships here on the Hard Rock Cafe across the street. They would line up down here. They would offload their merchandise and their raw goods into the backs of those buildings. Those were the warehouses. Those were very important to the economy of the growing Nashville. And that's why they still look old. So we're going to take a left here. We're going to see a whole bunch of those bars I was telling you about. And then again, your boat is on your right. The Hard Rock Cafe, as we make this left-hand turn, look to your right. On this end of the building, you'll see that painting that shows you what those ships look like that used to come here. Up here on the right also, and we're going to go all the way down to what would be 5th, but it's called Representative John Lewis Way, and we'll take a right. Here on your right is the Hard Rock Cafe gift shop. Now, that used to be the Silver Dollar Saloon, and if you go in there, you'll see the silver dollars in the floor. You'll also see the nicks in the tiles where people's guns went off when they got rowdy. The dock hands would come up from the river after they had a long day of unloading things into those warehouses, and the museum is down there as well. Coming up on the left also, you'll see Luke Bryan's place, Bridge 32, and Jason Aldean. On the right, you're going to see Old Red, and now that is Blake Shelton's place. 2 doors down, his ex-wife bought the building and painted it pink. And it's Miranda Lambert's Casa Rosa. Now we're number 1 in that is where you can buy homemade candy from the front door to the alley. Whiskey Row coming up on your right, that is Dirk Bentley's place. Now, Friends in Low Places. Does anybody know whose that is? Garth Brooks. He is so smart and so wealthy that he put a police station next door here on the left, next door to his bar. And it has made a big difference down here. Coming up on your right, these are the honky-tonks where you're going to hear the more classic country music, the Purple Building. That's Tootsie's, where Miss Tootsie Best came in 1960 and took it, had it painted. She comes back, she finds that the painter has mixed all his remnants of paints together and come out with purple. She didn't ask for purple, but she did make a lot of money in that Purple Building. Now, as you can see, some of the signs, Patsy Cline, Little Jimmy Dickens, Chris Christopherson, all those folks would have come through there. On your left, you're going to see Bridgestone Arena. That is where our, yes, right to the right, yeah, Predators ice hockey team plays. That's also where they do the CMA Awards. You ever watch those? Yeah, CMA Awards. And Cirque du Soleil, Disney on Ice, a lot of wonderful things happen in there. We're going to go on up in front of that white car, and we're going to pull up to that black pole if you have enough room there, Fran. Look to your right, you'll see Tootsie's Alley, and then we're going to stop and talk about this building here for just a minute. We're going to talk about this area for just a moment. All right. So did anybody have any questions about what we just saw on what we call Honky Tonk Row? There where the bars are? Okay, well, we're going to stop for a minute, but as we're coming past this, once we get started up again, you're going to see our new statues. We've got bronze statues of Charlie Pride, Loretta Lynn, and Bill Monroe. Upstairs, it's kind of like open court, like a mall, but the food up there is really more elevated. You get all kinds of food up there in their little kiosks. Very good. They do not take cash, only charge card. This, folks, is the Ryman Auditorium. Any of you went? You went to the Grand Opry, right? Yeah. Fran said you went there. Was it this location or out where you are by Opryland? Out there. Okay. Well, this is the old one. This is the old. This was but it was the 5th location. It wasn't the first. There's a lot of locations for the Grand Ole Opry as they moved around. But this one's here because of a captain down on the river that had one of those river boats, Captain Tom Ryman. And he had 35 boats. He was making money like crazy, all those activities I told you about earlier. And there was a guy named Sam Jones, and he was a preacher, and decided to keep it and renovate it. And now it is still used for Opry nights during the winter. And it's also, I was just here the other night, who did I come and see? I was with a group, Rodney Adkins, that's who I saw the other night. So it was a really good show. So that's our beautiful Ryman Auditorium. There you have your food if you want to come downtown, and we are going to go all the way down to the bottom of this street. It's going to be there to the right if you wish to spend your 10 or 15 minutes over at the gift shop. They've got some really nice little things over there. They always like for me to point that out. Up here on the hill, that is the Capitol building. Can you see it? Here, let me see. Can you see it? Okay, that's the Capitol building, and that building was finished in 1859. Now, there was a man that came from Pennsylvania. His name was Strickland. He had done some of the buildings in Washington, D.C., so it does kind of look like one of those, doesn't it? Well, he came in here, and he gave an estimate of 3 years to build that building. It took 14 years. Anybody know why? I gave you a hint earlier. Civil War.
Thank you. Look at the huge map on the ground. There's a huge map on the ground, but very difficult to. The first one. Because there's some people inside. They keep the air conditioning here. This is a huge map of Tennessee. Whew, well done. Here's Memphis. Elvis Presley made a fortune here in Memphis, but he wasn't born here. He was born in Mississippi. And then we shall go to Nashville. Where's Nashville?
It did.
Bedford. Knoxville, we drove by there.
Nashville, it's east of Nashville down this direction. So I'm looking for it too because no one's ever asked. Chattanooga.
Chattanooga. Knoxville. We're in Knoxville. Yeah, Knoxville. Now is Gettysburg. Pigeon Forge. Here we go. Gettysburg. From here we go to North Carolina. All right, let's not backtrack.
Bells for 95 counties. They ring on the hour. They'll play about 3 or 4 songs out of our 10 state songs. We have 10 state songs, can you believe that? So there's 95 bells. Now there's a 96th bell. This is so cool. It's up on the Capitol property. After the first song plays, then the time will chime. And if it's 1 o'clock, it'll chime 1 time. And then if you listen, and it's not too noisy out here, you can hear another bell. And it is the 96th bell ringing from the Capitol property. And it's government's answer back to the people. Isn't that cool? Love it. So those are our beautiful Carillon bells. As I said, you can go online and you can pull up the Carillon bells at Bicentennial Park. You'll be able to hear what they sound like. They play Chattanooga Choo Choo, and we can go ahead and go to the stop sign and take a left, please. Chattanooga Choo Choo, Tennessee Waltz, Crazy, lots of really neat Tennessee songs. So you can go on there and listen to those if you'd like. So we're going to take a left here. You're going to see our museum. This is the Tennessee State Museum. Now, if you were here years ago, you would have seen the museum downtown. That was 3 stories, but keep in mind, we have the Native American history, civil rights history, Civil War history. We have music. We have lots of history. Even the Marathon motor car was built here for a very short time. I think it was 1910 to 1914. Marathon motor car was built here. Over to your left, you'll see that wall of history I was telling you about, but my most important monument in all of Nashville is this one coming up on the left with the big round ball. That is the World War II Memorial. Let's see, the ball should be turning, but looks like it's not turning today. No, not today. Oh, it's slower. If you all notice, that ball has etchings on it. There's a little tiny etching of the state of Tennessee on there. That ball is laid out the way the world was during World War II. So if you look at the World War II globe, you would see this here. Now, if you go find the Tennessee State etching, which is quite small, you can follow all the lines that are branching out from the state. And those lines go to all the different campaigns that our soldiers from Tennessee fought in during World War II. And the number on the lines and the number of miles, Iwo Jima, Casarin Pass, Guadalcanal, you would find those. Coming up on your right is our farmers market. This first part has about 18 restaurants in it, a couple little shops in here as well, all kinds of food. Mom and pop restaurants, no chains at all. And then further down on the right, I gotta get in there because the strawberries are ready. So tomorrow I'll be coming down and getting my strawberries coming up here on the right on the farmers market. So we do have the farmers starting to come in. Now there are some that stay all winter. They do bring in the frozen beef and fish. We're going to take a right here, and that'll take you to a light. Okay, we're going to head on over to the Centennial Park. Did y'all know we have a Parthenon here that is an exact replica of the one in Greece, and is the only exact replica, and it is built within 1/4 of an inch of the one in Greece. Don't ask me where that 1/4 of an inch is, because I don't know, but it's a beautiful Parthenon, and we're going to take you over and show you that, and then we're going to get you to the boat. How's that sound? All right, I know you're wanting to get to that boat. There's really not much to talk about in between here and there, so let me get Fran up, go in the right direction, and we will get this song on for you. Now, I will tell you about another song they asked me to write. It's called Ham Hocks, a love song. And it's about this guy named Bubba. He's one of their characters there at the Country Tonight Theater. He loves ham. And so he got married to a lady who loved ham too. And the song is all about their marriage and their courtship and their marriage. And the line in it that's the best line is, "We're as happy as 2 ham hocks in a crock pot." All right, I'll be with you in just a minute. I'm going to stick with Fran here. And we're going to get you over to the Centennial Park.
Should
money. So they had to save up money, and in 1897 they had a gigantic celebration. This lake was dug out. As I said, it was called Lake Watauga to honor those first settlers. But they brought in gondolas and gondoliers from Venice and put them on our water. They stocked it with fish. There were ducks, geese, and swans. And it is still a beautiful little lake. And if you have a fishing license in Tennessee, you can actually fish in that little lake. Up here on the left is our sunken garden. There's not a whole lot in it right now. They just stripped it of the flowers that they had planted because now they're bringing out the bulbs. The bulbs are going to start blooming. But we'll have orange and yellow and pink and purple. It'll be beautiful. Does anybody have a granddaughter or a niece or a daughter that loves Taylor Swift?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so as I start looking to your left, you're going to see a wood bench right to our left coming up. And that is the bench that the mayor donated to Taylor Swift. Let me see where I am. Yeah, it should be right over there. You'll see it on the way out a lot better than you can see it now. Anyway, there's a wood bench, and you're going to go to the second street on the left and turn into that parking lot. Yeah, not this one, but the next one. Anyway, he donated that because Taylor Swift has a song called Invisible String, and it says, green is the grass where I used to read at Centennial Park, and this is that Centennial Park. We'll take a left here. And her bench is right over there. But you know, it looks like they're digging something up over there. I hope they're not digging up her bench, because that has become very popular. Now listen guys, we need to get to your boat at 12 o'clock. Okay, that's my deadline. So does anybody want to get off and take a picture of the Parthenon? Okay, if you don't, then let's just look at it and I'll tell you about it, okay? So back in, when they decided to have this big celebration, let me find my little picture here. You can just go on around the horseshoe slowly for them to look at this, and then we'll just move on. Okay, so when they had their big celebration, there were over 30 buildings here on this property. Of course, they're all made of plaster of Paris, you know, and nothing, and particle board, nothing to last a long time. Although, if you look at the history of the Centennial celebration, it's pretty amazing what they did. The buildings look like they were built to last forever, but of course they weren't. And if you look at the ends of these buildings and you look at the pediments on the top, they're pretty cool. They were made from the original Elgin marbles. But inside that, we had a Parthenon, first of all, for our building to represent us. Memphis had an Aztec building. All the different regions picked a building. So that's why we had over 30 buildings. But we picked a Parthenon because we had these universities at the turn of the century, over 18 colleges and universities. And we had a large focus on the arts. And because of that, they decided they'd have the Parthenon, which was like Greece. We were like Greece in that we had that focus on education and the arts. And we'll take a left up here at the stop sign. Take a left. And so that's why we have the Parthenon. Now, of course, that's not the original Parthenon, because I told you that the Parthenon, that the party happened in 1897. So they kept that Parthenon up as long as they could because the people didn't want it torn down. Remember that. And so when they just had to tear it down eventually, but guess what? They saved up enough money, and in 1920 they built this one. You'll get a really good view of the pediments as we go down this road all the way to the end till you can't go any further. So look to your left at how pretty those pediments are up there. Now you remember back when you might have read about the Parthenon in Greece and how the roof was blown off. Those pediments were just laying in pieces on the ground, many of them disintegrated, of course. So the artist that created the pediments had to fill in, and you can't even tell. He did a great job. But inside, that same artist, a sculptor, he designed this one here. If y'all can see it, if you can't, I'll bring it around when we get off the bus, and I'll make sure I have it. Y'all see it? Okay, y'all can see it. You know who that is? That's Athena, yeah, the goddess of wisdom and war. She is 42 feet tall. She's in that building. She is gilded with 23.75 karat gold. Can you imagine? You see her? Now in her hand she's holding another statue, and that is the statue Nike. So we have Athena, 42 feet tall, gilded in gold, and she is, as I said, 42 feet tall. And we have Nike, the goddess of tennis shoes. Oh, it's not tennis shoes. That's not right. Oh, that would be Victory. Excuse me. There she is. So if you want to take a peek at her as you get off the bus, you can do so. All right, we're going to take a right here, and we're going to do our very best to get you back on time. Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you your choice. If we go right here and go to the next stop, buildings that match the architecture of the original architecture for the university when it was built in the mid-1870s. Now, Mr. Cornelius Vanderbilt, he was asked to give some money to do something here in Nashville to get the northerners that were here and the southerners to play. Well, her name was, of course, Sarah Cannon. She married Mr. Cannon. Look to your right quickly, you'll see Cornelius Vanderbilt standing in there. He used to stand down at the Centennial Celebration, but he's here now. Rain or shine, no, Cornelius is standing there. We're just going to go straight on down for a while. We'll take a right on 17. One of our newest neighborhoods that used to be the train yards. Here on the left is your train station. If you ever want to go through it, it's worth walking through. It is absolutely beautiful. It still looks like a train station. To the left is the First Art Museum. The First brothers, two doctors here. One of them would become, I believe. All right, folks, we're pulling up.